Hi, this is Catherine Lee Scott, and you're listening to TV Confidential.
Hey, Roberts, and welcome you back to TV Confidential, radio talk show about television. Chris Korman is with us as we welcome Dolly Reed Martin. Dolly Reed Martin, widow of comedian Dick Martin of Rowan Martin's Laugh-In, and to whom Dolly was married for more than 30 years. Dolly Reed Martin is also one of the stars of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, the cult classic directed by Russ Meyer that continues to resonate with movie fans today. Well, if you follow classic TV game shows, as Chris and I do, you know Dolly for many, many, many appearances on the CBS Match Game and Tattletales. Dolly Reed Martin's appearance tonight is courtesy of Chris Korman. As we pick up the conversation, Chris is talking to Dolly about her appearances on the Match Game.
The one I was watching with McLean Stevenson, I've never laughed so hard in my life. Oh my God. And
those were great. You know, I went to Neiman Marcus, a department store in Beverly Hills here the other day.
Yes.
And I was having a spot of lunch with my assistant, and this lady comes and sits right next to us, and we start chatting, and she says, "You look very familiar." And it turns out her husband was Paul Alta, who was the director of all of those game shows. Isn't that wild?
What are the odds?
Yeah, what are the odds of that?
Not only what are the odds of that, but what are the odds that people, and I'm not just talking about people our age, Dolly, but I understand a lot of college-age kids are watching reruns of the classic Match Game. So what are the odds that people would be watching a game show appearance that you did so many years ago?
Isn't that amazing? It is bizarre. It's really funny how fate lends itself, because it was really lovely to see this lady. And it's a small world, I tell you.
It is very much a small world, and as I understand, the vibe on the Gene Rayburn Match Game, the vibe was kind of close to the vibe that Dick and Dan had on Laugh-In, in that you got the sense that there was a party every week that the viewers got to be a part of.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, when we did, for instance, when we did Tattletales, do you remember Tattletales?
Yeah, with Bert Convy.
It was wonderful. Boy, I love that show.
Yeah.
Well, Bert is very dear to me, Dolly, because Jonas, Bert's son and I went to high school together.
Really?
I've known Bert a good long time. So, but what I thought was interesting is that the couple times you did Match Game, I think you did a couple with Artie Johnson.
Did we?
And, well, it's weird because I don't know if Dick or Dolly knew this, that Artie is my distant cousin on my dad's side.
Yeah, you told me that, and I just think that's fabulous. Him and Lisa are wonderful people. I love them dearly.
They are. I do too.
Yeah.
But I can tell you guys always had so much fun doing those Match Games.
Well, you know, with these shows, you do 5 shows in a day.
Mm-hmm.
And after you've done the first one, then they pour you some wine. and by the first show, you're feeling no pain whatsoever. And it got to be really funny.
And that's what added to the party vibe for viewers at home. So,
yeah.
5 in one day?
Oh, yeah, 5 in one day. But that's how they do those shows. It's just such a shame that Tattletales, they can't show the ones that we were on, because there's something in the contract that they didn't want to sign. Dick and I signed, but Steve Lawrence and Bob Newhart, they said, we don't like that. I said, for God's sake, we only got $1,000 a day, you know, for doing 5 shows. What the hell's the difference? Who cares? But
yeah,
it's such a shame because they were hysterically funny.
and the cool thing about whether you're doing Tattletales, whether you're doing Match Game, Dolly, is that you're not playing a character, you're being yourself, you're being Dolly.
Yeah. Yeah. For instance, there was one question. How do you like to sleep? Do you sleep on your back, on your side?
I remember that one.
Yeah. Dick apparently, he and Newhart, and I think it was Anthony Newley on that one, and he was going on about how he loved his Nana. Now, his Nana is his pillow. And he said, I like to sleep with my Nana. So when it came to me, we had our headphones on, and I said, well, he likes to sleep with his Nana between his legs. We were just, of course, I didn't know what he had said about his Nana, but oh my God, we had such fun.
And we're having fun talking to Dolly Martin. Dolly was one of the first Playboy bunnies from London, hired by Hugh Hefner to open the London Playboy Club in 1966. Dolly also worked in the Playboy clubs in Chicago and New York. Movie fans, of course, know Dolly as one of the stars of the cult classic Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, while game shows fans like Chris and I think of Dolly for many appearances on the CBS Match Game and, of course, Tattletales. I was telling Chris before we called you, Dolly, that you and I have someone in common besides Chris. Catherine Lee Scott.
Yeah, really. She's a great girl, isn't she?
She's a great girl, and she's written many great books, one of which is the Playboy Bunny book, and Dolly Martin is one of the stars of that book.
Right. Oh, give her my best, will you? I think she's a doll.
I absolutely will. And Catherine and I have talked about the Playboy book on our show, and one of the things I learned is that when people say, okay, you worked at the Playboy Bunny Club, that was just a lark, people don't realize what a hard job it was. It was essentially, it was a waitress job.
It was a killer, because you're wearing 3.5-inch heels, and you're on your feet for 8 hours, and there were 6 girls that came to America to train to be bunnies, and so we had to learn from, like, the ground floor, from the floor bunny to the pool bunny to the bumper pool bunny, and the gift shop, and all the way to the showroom. So it was hard work. And during the day, we had TV shows to do and radio shows to do, and I had a lot of publicity because we were opening the London Club, and they wanted as much publicity as possible, and that's when I became a playmate.
Basically, you have like 2 jobs, because you do on all the PR stuff in the morning, and then you got to work it at night.
Yeah, it was not something that was my cup of tea, and towards the end of our training in Chicago, I tell you, I was ill. I didn't know it, but I had pneumonia. And I had a party of 15 people on my station, and they stiffed me with that hip. And it was almost to the end of our training. And I just said, that's it, I quit. I quit. And because I said I quit, the other 5 girls said they quit too. So so it made me look like this ringleader. So the next day we were called into the office and we were given, we've done for you and all of that. And I said, but I'm not well. And they said, I don't care. It says in the Playboy how much you love being a bunny and you've got to pick it out. So all the other girls said, they're not going to quit. They went to everyone, do you quit? And they said, no, we don't quit. It came to me and I said, yes, I'm not well. I'm going to the doctor right now. It turns out I had pneumonia, and they had to come to the house, the Chicago mansion every day and give me penicillin shots. And when I did see them, the manager again, I said, I really was ill. He said, I know. And that's when we went back to England, we interviewed 30,000 girls.
Wow.
Amazing. And some of them weren't girls.
Yes.
Well, let me tell you something, Dolly. I would have loved to see management stand on their feet and see.
My poor feet now. I'm 74. I'm going to be 75 this year. Where did my life go? and my feet are letting me know So every time I see girls, these gorgeous girls that are walking around with these beautiful long legs and these huge high heels, I want to say, you regret it, take them off.
Yeah, but they're going to learn it the hard way, too, so.
Uh-huh.
Just listening to you tell your story, Dolly, about how you stood up for yourself.
If I don't, who will?
Yeah, and one of the things I learned when we had Catherine on to talk about her experience in the Playboy Club is that, the costume aside, there were a lot of strong women who came out of the Bunny program and who have left their mark not only in entertainment, but in business and everything. So it's like, whether you cultivated this amongst yourselves or whatever, but the band of women, you are all very, very strong in your own way.
Yeah, but don't you find that the more we know, the more informed we are, and we're not going to take this anymore. When I went back to England, the Western Club in England, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia came into the club. And Victor Lau, who was vice president of Playboy and in charge of the London part, he said to me, would you go out with him? He wants to go gambling. And I said, no. I said, my mother's in town visiting me from Bristol. And no. And he said, well, bring your mother too. I said, well, okay, because I didn't want to be alone with the guy. And so he took us to this nice big sporting club, and it was very dressy, and he gave my mother $100, and he gave me $100, and he showed me how he does roulette. Well, I'm sure looking back on it, they let him win. He won 32,000, and I won 6,000, and my mother refused. She said, this is disgusting. All this money out here, this is disgusting. So she refused to bet. So she went. So that $6,000 that I made, I spent half of it on my family, giving them gifts and stuff. And with the other half, I came to America. And I wouldn't have been able to come to America otherwise.
Our guest this hour is Dolly Reed Martin, former Playboy Bunny and Playboy Playmate, and the star of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and the CBS Match Game. Dolly is sharing a few memories tonight of her showbiz career and her life with her late husband, comedian Dick Martin. Chris, you want to ask Dolly a question about Harvey?
Yeah, Dolly, it's amazing. We talked on the phone, and we corresponded on email a little bit, but I never thought of asking you, how did you meet my dad, and how did Dick and my dad connect?
God, your dad, I've got a couple of stories about your dad that are, can I tell you now what they are?
Oh, please, I haven't heard a lot of stories about my dad.
Tim and Harvey were on a private plane, and Charlene, Tim's wife.
Right.
And they were going on this trip, and it's a private plane. Tim looks out of the window, and he goes, uh-oh. And Harvey says, what? And Harvey didn't like to fly. And so he was a basket case anyway. And so Tim said, I don't know if that was right. And Harvey said, what? What was right? What? He said, well, when they put the gas in the plane, he said, I think out on the wing, I think that's the top. I don't think they put the top back on when they filled the plane. So Harvey went bananas. And he went up to the pilot and he said, you left the cap off the gas tank. And they said, Mr. Corman, we don't fill the plane like that. I thought Harvey was going to kill him.
Oh, my God.
He used to love to make Harvey crazy.
Yes, well, it wasn't hard. Let me tell you, it wasn't hard.
And then there was another time when they both had a racehorse. They both had a half ownership on this racehorse. The racehorse didn't win anywhere. And Harvey kept saying, you've got to get rid of this damn horse. well, we got someone that really wants to buy the horse, Harvey. And he said, but I think we should hold out for more money. And Harvey said, what are you talking about? Dump it, the horse, just get rid of it. And he says, I don't know. He says, I will meet with the guy. So the guy came, and he offered them an enormous amount of money. Of course, it was all being filmed, too. But they didn't know that. Harvey didn't know that. And he said, well, I'll give you this enormous amount of money. And Tim said, nah, I don't want to do that. And Harvey takes him aside, and he said, sell it. And he was going, and but he found out that it was all a ruse. Oh, God, there were so many times when Harvey wanted to kill Tim.
Yes, he did that. It was that Dick Clark Practical Bleeps and Blunders. And my dad had let his beard grow, and Tim got my father up like at 7, 8 in the morning to go out and do this. And he didn't know Dick Clark was behind the window watching all this. And you can see my dad now, a word that you can't use on Ed's show, attached to the word Dick Clark. And my dad, Dolly and Ed, my dad did not talk to him for 6 months later. He was so mad at him. Oh, my God. Oh,
your mom, was she Harvey's first wife?
My mom, Donna, yes.
Yeah. Well, Dick and I were in France, and we were in Avalon, and it's pouring with rain, and this was in the 70s. And we come, I think it was, and then we come around the corner, and we bump into Harvey and Donna. And
I had no idea.
Yeah, we bumped right into them, and we go, oh, my God, look at this. Oh, let's have dinner. So we went, and we had dinner, and Dick and Donna argued all night long. They argued about women's lib and all of that stuff. And we were in this 4-star hotel, and Harvey and I are sitting there chatting together, and a cockroach walks at the back of the booth that we're sitting. And I went, ah, a cockroach, a cockroach. And Harvey went, ah, like an idiot. Every time I saw Harvey, years and years and years for years, he'd say, ah, cockroach.
I had no idea, Dolly. That's how you met my father and mother.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh, my goodness, isn't it fun?
Chris Corman is with us, along with our guest this hour, Dolly Reed Martin. We'll take a quick time out, and we'll talk some more with Dolly when we come back on TV Confidential.
Become an advertiser or underwriter of TV Confidential and let our brand help promote your brand. To find out more, go to televisionconfidential.com/advertise.
Ed Robertson along with Tony Figueroa and Donna Allen from Story Salon, Southern California's longest-running, regularly performing live storytelling ensemble, which I understand is a new location.
Yeah, we're very excited about it. We're moving actually to the Party Art Studio on Laurel Canyon Boulevard, 5302 Laurel Canyon. It's a new art gallery, and it's
beautiful.
It's beautiful. Donna and I have been involved with Story Salon for the last 9+ years. We're going to be in an art gallery now. We're going to have a $5 cover, some nice refreshments, and a wonderful eclectic evening of storytelling.
Which is a great environment because, it as you say, the word is eclectic, and for $5, it's a great evening of entertainment. You can't ask for much more.
No, not at all. And these stories, some of them are funny, some of them are tragic, some of them are a little off the wall, but we just have a wonderful time keeping the art of storytelling alive.
And you can find out more about it by going to StorySalon.com.
Accredited by Guinness World Records, welcome to Archival Television Audio Incorporated, a peerless TV soundtrack archive, preserving the audio from television's first 3 decades, the 1950s, 60s, and 70s, the golden and silver age of television.
For more information, go to atvaudio.com.
We're Biffle and Schuster. How do you do? That's right, folks. We're Biffle and Schuster. We want to tell you about this amazing misadventures of Biffle and Schuster. It's a DVD from Kino Lorber, and you're going to love it.
We're Biffle and Schuster. It's terrific.
Yeah, you know what Joe Dante says about them?
What did he say?
He says, forehead slapping funny. What impresses is the dogged authenticity to the era, which makes it all the more hilarious.
Absolutely. Accent on the high.
We're Biffle
and Schuster.
As you can see, no one else can make that statement louder than we. They say we're soporific, and it's probably we. Because
we're Biffle and Schuster. Oh, we're Biffle and Schuster. No, we're Biffle and Schuster.
B-I-F-F-Biffle, Biffle. S-H-W-S to Schuster.
Biffle and Schuster. Need we say more?
Available wherever DVDs are sold through our friends at Kino Lorber.
Dolly, what do you think now? Did he make an effort to meet you? Did you make an effort to meet him? Or did the two of you meet totally by accident?
It's very weird, really, but it has to be by accident.
That's it. You got it. Tell me, I think all of America at this moment is saying, how weird was it? You said it was kind of weird. What was weird?
Well, we met in a restaurant with Jack Carter, and then Dick went away, and then it took him 8 weeks to call me and tell me he loves me. I'd never met him before, you know what I mean? Very strange.
He called you 8 weeks later and said, hello, how are you? This is Dick Martin, and I love you?
Yeah, because he knew I was mad. It took him 8 weeks for him to he really wanted to date me, you see, but it took him 8 weeks to do it. You know what I mean?
To it. Well, you don't want to rush into it.
There were others.
There were others in between.
Oh?
Yeah. Sure, he wasn't just sitting
I
at
know
home.
about one of them.
Who was it?
An English girl, too.
Really? What was her name?
Hi, this is George Slaughter for TV Confidential. Watch it. Don't watch it. Listen to it.
And Roberts with a reminder that the next edition of TV Confidential will air next week on the station at the usual time. We hope you'll join us for that. In the meantime, Chris Corman is with us, along with our guest this hour, Dolly Reed Martin. Dolly Reed Martin, star of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and the CBS Match Game. Dolly is here with us to share a few memories of her showbiz career and her life with her late husband, Dick Martin.
Well, my dad loved Dick a lot. I know their careers cross-referenced because most people don't know this, that Dick did direct a couple of Mama's Families.
He also did over 100 Newhart shows.
Yeah, in fact, he directed one of my favorite episodes of the 1970s, Bob Newhart, Dolly. It was the one where Jack Riley's character, Carlin, hires a pie hitman to try to get Bob in the face with a pie.
Oh, God, that's funny.
It's funny.
Oh, God. What a great group of people there were on that show, too. And, we got married the second time, because we got divorced at one point. We got married the second time at Bob and Ginny Newhart's house. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah, and one of their daughters is my godchild. So we're still really, really, really close.
And I understand, Dolly, that Bob was very instrumental in Dick becoming a director.
Yes, he was. Because, Dan was a diabetic, and he couldn't take the lights anymore and all the stuff that was going on. So when he quit, Dick said, what the hell am I going to do? You're half of a comedy team. You can't really go out as one half of a comedy team.
Yeah.
So there were a few people that wanted to take Dan's part. Peter Lawford being one of them. And Dick said, no, it's not as easy as it looks, because every time Dick never remembered a joke, for instance. He never, ever remembered a joke. But his attitude was what was magic about him. And Dan, like the birds and the bees, they did a whole thing about how the birds and the bees came about. And Dan would research all of this and feed the information to Dick, and then his mind would wander, and then Dick would draw him back in. It was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. I don't know if it was never put on film. Only a few scattered things were put on film in those days. But and of course we have the album, but they were so funny. And I know that Ginny Newhart, who's married to Bob Newhart, every time Bob was in town, she'd sneak in the first 10 minutes of Dick and Dan's show because it was all ad-lib. And it was so funny.
Yeah, I don't think people really realize how hard.
They were together 35 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't just laughing that, their nightclub act was wonderful.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Dolly, they were one of the hosts of the Colgate Comedy Hour on NBC in the early 1950s.
Yeah, and how they got an opportunity to do the show was they were very good friends with Dean Martin, and they did a Dean Martin summer replacement show, and the ratings went through the roof. And NBC said, "We'd like you to do a show." And they said, "Yeah, but we have a different idea about a show. We just don't want to do just a show." And then that's how they got all the group together and started the show.
Yeah, we had George Schlatter on a couple of years ago. Yeah, and he was telling us about they would have like maybe 5 times as many shots as most other TV shows, every week. It was as much an editing show as a performance show. It was just, yeah.
But, I have a little thing with George where he insists he created and all of this stuff. It was a collaborated effort by wonderful, wonderful talent. And for 50 years, he said, he hired Warren and Martin, which is so wrong. Because why would I be a partner? Why would he hire someone and then give them, he has a quarter of the show, and then Dan has a quarter of the show, and Dick has a quarter of the show. So that's been a bone of my contention a lot for many years. And it took 50 years for it to be sold because there was too many problems with partners.
I know Time Life has released the show in its entirety over the last couple of years, Dolly, and my understanding is that it's done very, very well, and it's reaching new audiences, and it holds up.
Yes, isn't that amazing? Yes, it's so funny, and Time Life did a hell of a job, and did a box set of laughing, and it's really doing well, and it's just beautiful. All the shows all together.
Our guest this hour is Dolly Reed Martin, former Playboy Bunny and Playboy Playmate, and the star of Beyond the Valley of the Dolls and the CBS Match Game. Dolly is sharing a few memories tonight of her showbiz career and her life with her late husband, comedian Dick Martin. I understand that you're working on a book these days.
Yes, I am, but I get to a point and it stops. I'm not very disciplined. So I've got all the notes. I've got all of Dick's notes. He had some great stories. Let me tell you one story that was funny. He and Dan were appearing in this, Dan was very enamored with Phyllis McGuire. The McGuire sisters?
Yes.
And he just adored her, and so he was going with her, but she was also going with a mobster.
Yes.
And
Sam Giancana. Yeah.
Unbeknownst to Dick and Dan, they bugged Dan Rowan's room because they thought maybe there would be how they'd get this gangster.
Yeah.
And so Dan said to Dick, want to have a bite to eat? Dick said, no, thank you. I'm going anywhere with you.
Yeah. Well, Dick and Dan, when they were doing their nightclub act, long before Laugh-In, they were doing nightclubs. It was back in the days when nightclubs were smaller, and the performers were closer to the audience, and that's a vibe that's lost today with the bigger stadiums and whatnot.
Isn't it, though? Yeah. And after the show, you'd go see another act, and you would see someone else in the lounge, and it was great times where it was more, so everybody was friends with everybody.
It sounds like you traveled with Dick when he was touring, doing...
all the time. In fact, that's why I didn't do much after Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. I did a TV stuff and Charlie's Angels and Fantasy Island and stuff like that. But he said, I don't want to be married to an actress. And I loved him. You know, I mean, love is very powerful, as you know.
Yes,
and,
it is.
It was more important to be with him than it was for a career for me. Well, and I enjoyed doing stuff with him. And we did, you know, little things together. That was fun. And one time, he was doing remember Mike Douglas?
Yes.
Well, he was doing the Mike Douglas show, and he was a co-host that week for the Mike Douglas show. Well, I have to preface the fact that I can't sing very well, even though in the movie I lip sync very well, but I can't sing very well. And now it's a live audience, and it's like 200 people in the studio, but it's a live audience going out. And I come on the last day, Dick introduces me, and I come on all smiling and everything, and Dick says, you know, my wife loves to sing. And I look at him, and Mike says, really? And I said, no. He said, Daddy, why don't you just give us a little number? Now this is live. So he said, why don't you sing Wouldn't It Be Lovely from My Fair Lady? And I thought, well, I could either be giggly and say no, or I could just go for it. So I went for it, and I sang at the top of my lungs. I sang so live on TV, and Dick did not get off the floor laughing. And he said, this is the first time she's ever been in tune. Oh, my God, he was wicked.
Well, I could tell by watching the Mets games that you guys had lots of fun.
Yes, and I miss him. It's been 11 years, and I miss him like crazy. But I think they're having a wonderful party up there, Chris.
I hope so. It just seems weird how you and I connected in that way, because you posted something on Facebook about the anniversary of Dick dying, and I said, God, this is Chris Corman, this is Harvey's son, and my dad died May 29th, that same week.
No, boy.
And it's so weird how we connected.
It is. And then there was Tim Conway's funeral the day before the anniversary of Dick's death. So it was really weird. Think of what a great laugh they're having up there.
Yes, and I would imagine Tim is freaking Harvey out up there with the airplane story. So.
Oh, you're right, Ed. You're right, that's out.
Well, they're all up there now.
Yes.
You know, look at all these comedy teams are up there. Dean Martin, Roland Martin.
And Rickles, Don Rickles, God love him.
Yep.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah. But I have lunch once a week with all the wives, all the widows of the comics, and we have the best time.
I think I met Jimmy Newhart once or twice, and I think you guys are bucking for sainthood for what you had to put up with your men.
I've always believed that laughter is the greatest thing in the world, and I could never be with a man. Of course, I'm never going to be with a man again, but I mean, I could never be with a man that didn't make me laugh.
What makes you laugh today, Dolly?
Just a lot of memories. I have a good sense of humor, and people make me laugh, and I'm very good friends with Steve Lawrence, and he's just been the best. Him and Edie were friends of. They lived 5 doors away from me when I lived in Malibu, and he said that he wants to fire his piano player and just put me in the front row because I'm a good laugher.
Well, wait a minute. Where in Malibu did you live? Did you live in the colony?
No, I lived on Broad Beach Road, right past Zero Beach.
Yes.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
I lived in the colony. I lived in the colony for about, right next to Neil Diamond.
Oh, my gosh, how wonderful. I wish I'd lived next door to Neil Diamond.
well, we got a free concert every night.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Well, I understand that a lot of famous people would drop in and out of your pad when you and Dick were living on Broad Beach.
Gosh, yeah. Well, we played poker every Sunday at Frank Sinatra's house.
Mm-hmm.
He lived 10 doors away, and he would come out in his pajamas, and he would throw popcorn at us, and he'd say, "This is an illegal game, and I'm going to call the cops."
Yeah, he and Sinatra lived in Malibu. Wow.
Yeah, he lived in Malibu, and then he had the place in Palm Springs, and then the place in town. Yeah.
How long did you live in Malibu, Dolly?
For 40 years.
My God.
In fact, I bought my house for $138,000 right on the beach in those days. Can you believe that?
Wow.
That was a good investment.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
Say so.
Yeah.
I'm able to live okay now.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah. My niece Diane lived in Vegas for a long time. She's Dick's niece, and I think that's how you got through, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So hi, Di.
I've been working around a long time, Dolly. I adore you.
I love you. I think you're wonderful. And Ed, you're a delight.
Thank you, Dolly Reed Martin. Dolly's appearance tonight was courtesy of Chris Corman. That'll do it for our program this week, folks. Ed Robertson, behalf of Tony Figueroa, down to Alan Phil Grace, Greg Airborne, our producer, Chris Corman. Thank you so much for listening. We will talk to you next time on TV Confidential.